Just a little over an hour ago, I started getting pinged on my Discord that there was a new job posting for the Riot Games MMORPG. And of course, we went over the entire job posting and we broke it down. And this is a juicy one, let me tell you. So let's just jump right into it. Let's take a look at the stream. I'm just going to give you guys an edited down version of what happened on the stream and everything that we saw in this job description. So let's get right to it. We have a new job posting. And I actually haven't even read it yet, but I can already tell you based off of the fact that it's a progression and economy position, that's insane. So let's just jump right in, right off the bat. We're just gonna go straight into it. This is gonna be great. As a principal game designer focused on progression and the economy, you'll build and maintain a thriving MMO player economy. You contribute to and connect the many elements like progression, skills, resources, goods, and trade. You help us create a stable and sustainable economy where all activities and player types are valued and balanced. You are comfortable operating in an ambiguous environment where the team owns its own goals and where change, big and small, is a critical part of the process. You'll report to the design director on the team. First off, I will just say that this does kind of confirm that the MMO is likely a true MMO and not just a world with a hub. The interactions and player interactions is a core aspect of the game. I think it also tells us kind of, and then this is speculation, big speculation, right? But it also kind of tells us where they're at in the project again, which makes me feel like, yeah, the production part is happening. I don't think they would start on progression and economy stuff without having, and also I don't think they're starting on this. They're just getting someone to lead it, and that as they segment things off. This is the next step of their full progression for the game. I think that they're moving into the next stage of development. I think combat is starting to feel pretty good. And when I say combat, like the actual just movement, the weightiness of the combat on a very basic level is starting to feel good. So they're going to start developing the skills out and like really start bringing it all together. Progression and skills is the piece of the MMO pie that connects all the different aspects, the combat, the exploration, the world, travel, all of that stuff. It gives you the reason why you're doing it. It gives you a reason to keep doing it. And honestly, this job is probably the most important role for the MMO to succeed, in my opinion. I think this is like the one thing they have to nail. Like combat needs to feel good, yes. Setting a new record. Wow, that's cool. But combat needs to feel good, but the actual progression of the gameplay needs to feel good. Let's get into the responsibilities. Contribute to a vision for the game economy that fosters player interactions and a thriving community. Huge. That's big. Super big. Player interaction. And it's also the first thing they put as the responsibility. So the first thing they wanted to talk about was creating an environment for player interactions. This isn't just Genshin. This isn't you're in a lobby and you see people running past. They want people to interact with each other. That's going to be a big part of the game. And I mean, aside from the naysayers, I've always kind of thought that that's the way that they're going to go with this game. Yeah, this really is an MMO. Be the primary owner for a significant portion of economy and progression design. I think that this is a progression-based role, but I think mostly it's aimed towards economy progression. But economy progression can also mean like items, how they drop in the world, how you collect things. Do you craft everything? Do you only get drops from raid bosses? That kind of thing. So anything that is looted and traded within an economy and progression that way is probably what this job covers. Create intricate rewards that enhance the overall player experience and give players satisfying long-term progression and goals. Intricate rewards. What do you guys think intricate rewards means? Intricate rewards sounds like either one of two things. Like one, like items that can be like crafted or modified, or it means like a lot of different rewards. Design systems and features that foster deeper social bonds between players. This is so huge to me because they keep talking about the social aspects of the MMO. They're not, I mean, obviously it's a job that is related specifically to the social stuff, but the fact that there is a focus on it at all to even create a full position is huge. That's super cool. Contribute significantly to non-combat focused gameplay loops, like life skills. So trade skills are confirmed, crafting, and professions. What is the difference there? Life skills are kind of like, let me describe it and see if you guys agree. Life skills would be like fishing, cooking, that kind of stuff. Crafting would be like making armor, weapons, maybe alchemy, that kind of thing. And then a profession, well, how would a profession be different than that? Professions, the gathering ones? Oh, okay, yeah, bruh. I'll be smart again someday, maybe. Yeah, this is the second time they've mentioned resources. So resource farming within the world is like pretty much all but confirmed at this point. Design and iterate on low-level details of the economy, including specific content. So that would be like a specific patch or something where there's an item and they need to know like how much of it we're giving out at a certain time. Spreadsheet management. So spreadsheet management, that's going to be a internal thing. That's not something that they're like expecting us to do. However much you guys know I love spreadsheets. Spreadsheet management is going to be the actual like back end, them tracking the ins and outs of like literally it says inflow and outflow of resources. So knowing like how much people acquire and how much they have to use to craft, or how much they will dispose of through gameplay. So like, for example, say there's a first aid life skill and you get the cloth to make bandages. How often are they using those bandages on average through regular gameplay? And are we feeding them enough cloth to maintain that? Or maybe just a little bit less, so there's always like a carrot on a stick for them to chase after, and kind of balancing that, and just balancing the drop rates on everything. This is a huge position that takes a very smart person, because you need to know like if there's a lot of gold, raw gold dropping, say you're fighting things, there's creatures, you're getting raw gold, but you're never spending it, the value of armor and stuff goes up, right? That's just basic inflation. So they need to know the exact amount of gold that's dropping and make sure that that kind of feels like the right amount to be disposing of as well, so that the inflation doesn't happen with the economy. It's like big nerd stuff that most people who play MMOs don't even think about, but is like super important to make it like feel right. Because if a new player comes into the game and they haven't been playing for a long time and they haven't felt the, inflation, they're getting a raw amount of gold that's a little bit compared to what they would actually need to buy anything. So like the actual economy of the game needs to feel right and be balanced. And that's where this job comes in. Mentor other team members to understand and effectively collaborate towards our progression and economy goals. That's the part that I want to know what they are. What are their goals? I mean, this posting is absolutely massive. No, it is. I think it truly is. It confirms a lot of stuff about the MMO that we were previously not privy to. We had no knowledge of it. 7+ years of experience in professional game design, 4+ years of experience in either progression, economy, crafting systems, and multiplayer games. Has built and tuned economy and progression systems for a large scale multiplayer game. Experience communicating and expressing complex and nuanced designs in simple ways. Can work effectively with non-design disciplines to deliver a unified and cohesive experience for players. That's actually pretty big, because like you can think of the game designers creating a new event that happens in the world. I'm going to keep it super dumb because I'm not very smart, but say it drops like crystals. The designers want you to collect crystals, and then eventually you'll form enough crystals to create a portal. You go through the portal and you fight a boss. That's about as deep as the designer will go. The economist guy, the progression guy, needs to then figure out the right amount of crystals to drop. What is fun too, right? Because it has to be fun at the end of the day. So you need to know how much is dropping. It's a big position, and it's I hope they get the right person. They got to get the right person, and that's why 7+ years in game design. I just hope stuff like that doesn't affect like new ideas. Because sometimes if you get people that have been in the industry or doing a specific skill set within the industry for so long, they will get kind of stuck in a rut. So that's where hiring is really important. Have the knowledge on how to make it happen, but also be able to think outside of the box to create something new for the future. Can create complex mechanics and systems with attention to the player impacts and downstream effects. So downstream effects this is a tough thing, right? Because the one example that comes into my mind is how we always find a meta for our gameplay. We min-max our time. If killing hundreds and hundreds of Demacian knights is the best way to farm gold, everyone's going to go do that. And those need to be balanced and thought about, and how they impact the player base. Because then everyone's going to be in Demacia, and that will affect other aspects. For example, if they don't only drop gold, but they happen to drop a rare iron as well, that price of that iron will go down drastically because so many people are farming the gold for it as well. It's all connected. Those are downstream effects. Deep level of understanding of multiplayer PvE and PvP games, ARPGs, MMOs, MOBAs, etc. So I know someone in chat said, and I see PvP down here too, I'm not going to get into it yet, but I will just give the warning that when we see stuff under qualifications or desired qualifications, it doesn't necessarily confirm that that will be in the MMO. They just like someone with experience with that. So when you see the word MOBA, it doesn't mean that there's going to be a MOBA in the game. Unless it's up here, like something where you connect elements like progression, skills, resources, goods, and trade. We know all that's going to be in the game. If I was a betting man, I would say PvP is in the game. I wouldn't be surprised if there's ranked arenas in the game. I wouldn't be surprised, and you guys can just hold me to it. Maybe this will not age well, but Tryndamere, Mark Merrill, has multiple times on streams talked about how much he loves world PvP, how much fun he had doing world PvP in EverQuest, where he named his character Tryndamere for the first time. And also, I forget his name right now, but one of his good friends he met doing world PvP in World of Warcraft. So I would not be surprised if there is world PvP as well, especially because he has his hands in the project so much. Experience with other MMO systems like PvP rule sets, social structures, and player behavior. See, this is where things get interesting. Experience with other MMO systems like PvP rule sets, social structures, and player behavior. Let's break those three down real quick. PvP rule sets. So that would be like Battlegrounds. I'm going to use World of Warcraft because it's kind of like a common denominator for people who play MMOs. MMO players have played World of Warcraft, whether you love it or hate it. But PvP rule sets would be like the difference between Battlegrounds, arenas, world PvP, that kind of stuff. So different rule sets around player versus player engagements. Social structures. So that would be like trade, guilds. I guess guilds would be a very good example. Guilds, parties, those different like structures that create social aspects of the game. I feel like a social structure is just like raid teams, groups. But yeah, it does make me think of guilds mostly because guild is the, like, it's like a consistent group. It's a continual group. Unless it's my case and your guild falls apart every couple years. Player behavior. And that's just like I use the example, like if the players want to farm gold, they go and do that. It's like just kind of seeing how players play the game, how they choose to interact with the different aspects of the game. Could be factions too. Could be. I've heard nothing about factions aside from a couple things to not have factions. Wow. That's huge. So what specifically do we get from this? There will be an economy. The economy will have progression, resources, goods, and trade, long-term progression and goals. And then I guess the biggest thing I have is just the continual emphasis on social interaction, foster player interactions, player design, satisfying long-term goals, social bonds with players, professions, life skills, crafting, and player trading. Yeah. I mean, that's so much stuff. I mean, I don't even know how to like fully react to it because I've had no information about the Riot MMO in so long. I was thinking like, oh my God, I need to make a video about how I don't have any information on the Riot MMO, and now we do.